An asteroid called Agatha 616 is heading straight for Earth, prompting all nations to unite and shoot rockets at it. The asteroid is destroyed, but this causes chemical compounds to rain down, mutating animals into gigantic, violent monsters. In just a year, Earth loses 95% of its population, leaving the remaining survivors to hide in bunkers, caves, and panic rooms. 7 years later, Joel is still living in a bunker, where he's the only one without a romantic partner and has to listen to everyone getting intimate nearby. Since he isn't good at fighting monsters, he doesn't join the group on supply runs. Instead, he helps by preparing dinner and doing handiwork like milking their cow. He also keeps a diary and draws the monsters he's seen as a survival guide. The group ran out of bullets years ago, so they now use weapons like axes and crossbows. One day, while Joel is practicing with a crossbow, the power suddenly goes out, and they discover some monsters have breached their security. A few guys go into the tunnels to fight while the others watch the progress on the screen of their sensor system. As the group struggles, Joel grabs a crossbow and goes out to help. Wandering the area, he bumps into a monster that has just finished eating one of his friends and now comes for him. Joel freezes, but the creature is killed by Joel's friends just in time. A flashback shows Joel before the apocalypse, hanging out with his girlfriend Amy. After he made a funny portrait of her, they started to kiss, only to be interrupted by an alarm warning them of pieces of rockets and asteroid falling on Earth. They had no choice but to rush back to their families. Back in the present, Joel uses a radio to chat with other bunkers and keep in contact with Amy. Today, he's telling her about the letters he wrote for her, but their connection suddenly cuts out when Joel's radio breaks. This triggers another flashback, showing Joel saying goodbye to Amy and exchanging I love yous before each of them escape with their families. In the present, Joel asks the others about Amy's colony and learns it's 85 miles away, taking 7 days to reach it, an impossible feat to survive outside for that long. Ignoring his friend's warnings, Joel decides to stop hiding and go look for Amy. As he explores the outside, Joel finds remnants of the old city covered in plants and monsters. After a few hours of walking, he hears a monster nearby and hides inside a house. However, when he opens the fridge, another monster roars at him, so he runs out into the garden. Unfortunately, a giant mutated frog emerges from the pond, attacking Joel with its long tongue. He dodges just in time and is shocked to fall next to a dog, who begins barking at the frog. Joel tries to escape, but the frog captures his leg with its tongue, making him fall. As it drags Joel toward its mouth, the dog bites the tongue and frees Joel. Joel then runs away, following the dog into a bus where the dog closes the door with a rope, showing he was trained. As the frog leaves the area, Joel realizes the dog used to hide here with his owner, who probably passed away. The dog's name is Boy, and he keeps his owner's clothes close because he misses them. Joel spends the night on the bus, and in the morning, Boy decides to leave with him, even bringing some of his owner's clothing. Joel puts it in his bag for safety. As they travel through destroyed cities and overgrown forests, Boy and Joel enjoy each other's company, sometimes even playing, though Boy doesn't know how to catch. He does, however, stop Joel from eating poisonous berries. After wandering for a while, Joel accidentally falls into a hole in the ground, landing on bones that indicate it's a monster nest. Hearing creatures in the tunnels, he dodges an attack just in time, but isn't sure he can fight. Thankfully, a rope falls into the hole, courtesy of Clyde and Minnow. They pull him out of the hole just as all the worms emerge. When a monster jumps out, they kill it with a katana and throw a grenade in the hole to finish the rest. Afterward, the four of them start traveling together. Minnow teaches Joel how to shoot the crossbow, and she and Clyde give him lessons on survival. They also share that they're heading to the mountains where it's too cold for monsters to live. Suddenly, their trip is interrupted by a giant snail monster. Clyde takes Joel's shirt and hides it in the snail's shell. This snail is very peaceful, and while it continues on its journey, it'll carry Joel's scent, hopefully making the monsters follow it instead of them. Clyde and Minnow tell Joel he can tell if a monster is nice by its eyes. When they stop for the night, Clyde shares details about the monsters for Joel to add to his journal. Over the next few days, the group travels together, and Joel finally gets good with the crossbow. He also learns a lot about monsters and survival, adding it all to his journal. Eventually, they reach the point where they must split to go to their different destinations, and Clyde says goodbye by gifting Joel a grenade. Joel and Boy continue traveling together and later reach a swamp that Boy refuses to cross. As Boy hides under a duck-shaped playground piece, Joel hears a noise and a huge centipede monster rises from the ground. Joel gets his crossbow ready, but the centipede pushes him off. The monster starts surrounding the duck with Boy inside, making Joel remember the day of the tragedy. His family car crashed, and his parents, stuck, told Joel to run away. Joel escaped and had to watch a monster kill his parents before survivors dragged him into a truck to escape. As the monster moves the duck and finds Boy, Joel refuses to lose another loved one and shoots the crossbow, killing the centipede with an arrow to the head. Later, it starts to rain, so Joel and Boy seek shelter in an abandoned building, where they find a robot named Mavis, who only has 51 minutes of power left. Mavis uses her GPS to show Joel he's only 10 miles from Amy's colony. Robots were new before the monster attack, so Joel never talked to one until now. Mavis uses her radio to help Joel contact Amy, who is doing well. She says some survivors have arrived and will rescue the colony, but the communication ends as Mavis' battery dies. With her last minutes of energy, Mavis shows Joel pictures and videos of his family. Crying, Joel hugs Mavis, and they watch the glowing jellyfish flying by. When Mavis shuts down, a grateful Joel gives her a proper burial. The next day, Joel and Boy keep going and almost fall into a huge pit. Boy runs away as Joel sees a queen sand gobbler emerging from underground. He throws a toy to distract it and starts running with Boy, but the queen chases them. After lots of running, Joel trips on a stick and falls down a hill near a river, causing Boy's owner's clothing to fall in the water. Joel hides with Boy behind a hollow trunk, and the queen comes incredibly close, but they wait in silence until it leaves. Boy sees the clothing in the water and jumps in to retrieve it, attracting the monster's attention. As it rushes toward them, Joel grabs the grenade, throws it into the queen's mouth, and jumps into the water. The monster explodes, and nobody gets hurt. Afterward, Joel reaches the shore, only to discover his body is covered in leeches. He pulls them off and yells at Boy, blaming him for the queen's attack, causing Boy to run away. Joel tries to continue alone, but soon the leech poison makes him hallucinate. He sees a plant that Clyde taught him was an anti-venom and eats it before seeing a group of people approaching. It turns out it's not a hallucination. It's Amy and her fellow survivors, brought by Boy. Excited, Joel kisses Amy before passing out. Sometime later, Joel wakes up in Amy's bunker. He's feeling better, but learns that he actually kissed a random survivor instead of Amy. She explains that her colony was found by a yacht captain and his crew, who have promised to take the survivors to a safer place. Everyone is busy packing and getting ready to go, so Amy can't spend much time with Joel. Joel explores the bunker, learning about the colony's habits and seeing they are right next to a beach. He also meets the people from the yacht, Dana, Rucko, and Captain Brooks. Later, when Joel finally gets a private moment with Amy, he's devastated to hear she moved on some time ago, thinking she would never see him again. Amy started dating another survivor, who sadly died last year. Afterward, Joel tries to contact his colony to no avail. When he looks at the map they gave him, he is shocked to find supportive messages he hadn't noticed before, realizing he left a beloved family for nothing. At that moment, the radio finally contacts his colony, and everyone is proud of Joel for surviving. They also share that there have been multiple breaches, but before they can say more, the communication ends. Joel decides he must go back to his family and ignore the yacht idea. On his way out, he discovers the plate of food they gave him has poisonous berries in it, meaning the crew is hiding something. He immediately runs to warn Amy, who is getting drunk with the other survivors, thanks to Brooks' homemade beer. Before Joel can say anything, Dana knocks him out. The next morning, Joel wakes up tied to a barrel with Amy, and all the survivors have been captured while they were drunk. After Dana blows up the radio tower, Brooks reveals that he and his crew go around robbing supplies from different colonies, moving the yacht by making a monster crab pull it. Brooks controls this monster through electric manipulation. At that moment, the crab comes out, and everyone runs to hide. Amy uses the lid from the barrel to free herself and Joel. Then she runs toward Rucko, who opens fire on her. She stops the bullets with the lid and tackles him, causing them both to fall unconscious. Meanwhile, Joel finds a trident and stabs the crab, causing it to trip and fall on its back. However, it's still alive, and an electric pulse from Brooks causes it to knock Joel down. At that moment, Amy recovers and starts fighting Dana, landing a few hits but still getting overpowered because Dana has more experience. Soon, the crab recovers and starts destroying the colony. Boy barks at the monster, and Dana tries to shoot him, but Amy hits her arm, making her shoot the crab instead. Using the element of surprise, Amy overpowers Dana, but Brooks intervenes, knocks Amy down, and orders his crew to get to the boat. As the crab continues its destruction, Boy dodges its attacks and reaches Amy, licking her face to wake her up. Brooks keeps electrocuting the crab to make it angrier, and the monster roars at Joel, who looks at its mouth and finds its weak spot before getting captured. Amy comes over with the weapon Dana dropped and hands it to Joel, who is about to kill the crab but looks into its eyes and realizes it's actually a kind creature being controlled by an actual monster. Joel shoots the chain instead, freeing the crab, who immediately releases Joel and jumps into the water. In just a few seconds, it reaches the yacht and eats Dana, Rocco, and Brooks, destroying the yacht in the process. Moments later, once everyone is safe, Joel says goodbye to Amy with a hug and gives her his journal so she can also learn about the monsters. Even though they didn't get together, he's grateful for the trip because it made him a better man. Before he leaves, they share one last kiss. For the next 7 days, Joel and Boy travel together and survive thanks to all their new experiences. Eventually, they make it to Joel's colony, where they're welcomed with open arms. Afterward, Joel sends a message through the radio to all the other bunkers, teaching them how to survive out there and inviting them to go to the mountains where the cold will keep monsters away. Then Joel, Boy, and his fellow survivors leave together to reunite with Clyde and Minnow, and soon other colonies do the same, eager to start a new life. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.